All righty, welcome back to the For the Badge podcast. I'm excited. We've made it to the mid-season review. I know it's less games than normal at Christmas, but I'm excited that Arsenal's on top. All right, we'll go ahead and get into it. Starting out, we're just gonna do a bit of a kind of a full season review, kind of some general topics. We'll get into each of the teams. And I think we'll start with some broader topics. First of all, some new refs came into the league, some a couple of rule changes. We've definitely seen some new stuff with handballs, and I personally think them raising the flag, the timing of the flag for offsides is it's out of control.
I think it needs to be, and I don't like this in a lot of things, but I think with offsides, it needs to be very, very specific about what is offsides and what is considered offsides, as in a sense, VAR, when it checks it, if your fingernail is
Mm-hmm.
offside, like that, like when we played, when we used to watch the game, it was the body of the person. It was where your feet
Something you could
are.
score with, right?
Right. It was where your feet are. If you were ahead, like leaning to
Yeah.
run, not an arm. Like,
A toenail, not a
like
shoelace.
right, right. And it's
Not
just,
your puppy's hair on the side of your shoulder, you know.
and the fact that they review it, like that's one of the ones that they review regardless of the lineman doing it, I think is very
Well, they only like absolutely review if it's a goal.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. And if the lineman, which is why they tell the players to keep playing, they play on, play through, because the VAR will decide it. I don't know, man. It just takes, if the
I
VAR
think
was
it
supposed to
gives
be
more
clear and
opportunity to catch
intentional.
injuries for
Huh?
no reason.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
what if he
right,
doesn't raise the flag? What if he doesn't raise the flag? Your boy
right,
goes through, doesn't score, and gets obliterated.
right.
And
Yep.
then he's like, "Oh well, I'll put the flag up. The guy's dead. Maybe I'll put
That's
the
right.
flag up now."
Well, that's the whole thing with VAR, right? It's supposed to be clear and intentional, a clear and intentional mistake. If the linesman didn't, a toenail, a hand, like I think it needs to be either let go. I mean, offsides is one of the reasons VAR was created.
Yep.
That, so, especially with the speed we have in the game now, like I get it. If Mbappe's half a step ahead of anyone, that's a huge advantage for someone like him. Like
Absolutely.
I get that, but I also don't understand how a finger or a hand can be the deciding factor between you scoring and not. But yeah.
Speaking of hands, like what's going on with the handball? Like I gave up.
Yeah,
Halfway
it
midway through the season, I have
was like game
no
five.
clue,
Yeah.
no idea. Like, and then
No.
and it's kind of like trailed off a little bit
Mhm.
as the season's gone on. We've seen some get let go that I felt like 2 months ago. Well, because they conditioned us, right? We'd
Right.
see the ball hit somebody's hand,
Immediately.
and
Right.
I'm like, that's handball. Today
Immediately. Right.
in this season, it's a handball. But we saw one in which game was it that I saw that in? It was Chelsea, I think. When no, was it? It was a
It was
blue team. Anyway, he slides and puts his arm down to slide, and
yep.
the ball hits his arm, but it's a very natural sliding movement.
Mhm.
And the commentator was like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely not a handball." I was like, "Well, the ball's going into the box and he's blocked it. That's this season. That's a handball." But he had a point. The slide position was natural. It wasn't, like an unnatural position.
Right.
So, but I feel like some of those where, what's a natural position? How do you define? Because if you jump, your arm's gonna do this.
Yeah.
Your arms, I don't know. It's
Right.
it's who'd be a referee, man? Like that,
It,
those kinds of
right.
close ones, you know.
And
I guess
it's
they
funny.
have two people, but somebody on the computer watching the replay, but even they
Right.
get it wrong. Even they've gotten it way wrong.
Way wrong. And it's funny too because I feel like once it goes upstairs, if it's that kind of call, they try to see like if there's any intent like first and foremost, like if the positioning of the player was intentional, if hand to
Certain
ball,
matters. They're
I,
so hard on this. Is he in the, what position is his arm in?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, but what's crazy, even beyond handballs, as far as VAR goes, is how do they some of these ones that they've missed? Like Mark Cucurella has still got hair laying on the Tottenham field.
Right.
Like what? Or if that, I think that might have been at the bridge. But anyway, like
No review. No review.
some of these have just been blatantly wrong.
Blatantly wrong.
And
Man City got robbed of one. Yeah.
have you noticed that that's kind of calmed down a little bit though? It's been a little bit better as the season's gone on. You think?
I do. I think, but I also think that we've kind of mentioned it at the beginning of this season. This season's been a lot more, I would say, gun. Like the defenders are gunning for it. They're not scared to go into these challenges and get calls. The refs have been really, I don't want to say lackadaisical, because that's a really bad way to put that. They've been very generous with some of the things that they've let allow go on the field. That when past years we've been like, oh, that's a call, that's a yellow, that's getting overturned, and these refs are just kind of letting them swing for the fences a little bit in some of these games.
Which is interesting because the Champions League I felt is way different.
Exact opposite, right?
Yeah.
It's if you breathe on someone wrong in the chance.
I'm still baffled by the red card that Milan took for a few guys. Like,
Right.
and I get it. It's part of this. It's part of this culture that's been created in the game, and it pisses me off nearly every game where somebody's fingernail scrapes your beard and you go down like you've been shot. Anytime anyone gets hit in the face in any way, whether it's soft, whether it's you
Right.
got caught, whether it's a rocky knockout punch, doesn't matter. You've been shot, and they're calling them. It's because they're calling these anytime someone is hit in the face, it's a foul for it, whatever it is, and it's turned the game into some. I mean, it just looks like some real
It's
soft.
it's soft. Yeah, it's soft. Right.
I'm trying to be nice and not name call,
Yeah, exactly.
but it's some.
It's soft.
It's not some Nemanja Vidic, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry.
No, right, exactly. John Terry, like those boys are coming. Like you go up in the box in a corner and come out with a bloody nose or black eye, or like,
You expect
my
that.
elbow indented into the side of your head. Like, yeah, no, it was, or the keeper's just gonna come out and just absolutely just smash.
Yeah, they actually brought back a new ref, or they brought back an old ref. Bobby Madley, I think, is the one I'm thinking of, and I could be wrong there, but he was demoted a few years back, and he came back into the league. It felt like a desperate maneuver. I didn't research it a whole bunch at the time, but I think they needed some experience, needed some somebody to come in. But I don't know. I think that they have improved as the season's gone on, and I hope that trend continues. To be honest with you. One thing that I've noticed as the season's gone on that's kind of exciting, a little bit, a lot of it actually in the Champions League. But as soon as I kind of noticed in the Champions League, it started happening in the Prem. I feel like home field advantage has been pretty big this season for a number of different teams, especially Newcastle. I would say is probably the biggest one.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, at Fulham, it's hard to go into either one of those two clubs. It's hard to go to Newcastle right now. They're playing well. They're flying pretty high. They've had an amazing record over at home, and I know you listed it over here, but I think United's home record is what's kept them into the top.
Yeah,
abysmal away record. I mean, look at what they've done.
Right.
In Europe, right? They're struggling in Europe, like against.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and
but they
lost to Villa. They lost to Villa 3-1 on Unai Emery's first game.
Right.
It was tough.
Yeah, so it's
they do well at home. It's interesting.
Yeah. That's one thing that we've been notorious for, but have not done this season.
Yeah, y'all been a bit lackluster both home and away.
Win games at home, right?
I think that interestingly enough, Forest is the one for me that's how do you beat Anfield? You beat Liverpool at home.
At home.
And then you go to Arsenal and get blown 5-0. You get blown away. You go to City and get beat 6-0.
6-0, yeah, 2 hat tricks. Yeah.
But then you give but then you're giving teams a game at home. You're coming back. You're coming back from 2 goals down to tie Brentford in the 93rd minute. Like I'm just
Right.
like, what? I don't understand. I mean, and I do attribute the fact that, and we'll get to firings this in a minute, but I do attribute the fact that dude is still in the job because the fans love him.
Yeah.
You don't really hear like boos ringing out a whole lot at the city ground, and I think that's probably it's something that it's come up a bit in Spurs post match interviews and some things they've said where the fans have kind of gotten a little restless, little kind of on the team's back a bit when things haven't been going good. I mean, you can't blame them. They went 7 games where they got scored on. The last 7 games they got scored on first and had to
Right.
come back. And yes, they do that, but the fans don't want you to rely on that, obviously. And it's like,
Right.
it's so interesting to me that some places are ridiculous to go to, but then other places you're like, all right, okay, we can do this one.
It's
Like
people
you
in the
don't
right
want to go, even though Leeds won at Anfield, you still don't want to go to Anfield.
No.
You don't want to go to City. You don't want to go to Arsenal. Like it's
And Liverpool's really, and that's I kind of said it for Man U, and same can be said for Liverpool as well. I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. That's a huge reason why they've gotten back into this season so early and quick as well. They do not drop points at home.
beat City and
So right, and ever since then, it's yeah, so
I
it's
think
big.
that yeah, I think it's very big. I think it's very big for a lot of teams. Bournemouth too. Bournemouth are an enigma right now. You
You
know,
don't know
we'll
who's showing up, man.
we'll get to them when we talk about relegation battle, but we go ahead and start with some of the reviews on the clubs themselves. We'll start at the top. Uh, no place better to be. And it's that consistency, right? We've just been
Right.
Arsenal have just been so ridiculously consistent. I think we've literally been in first place every match week the
Yep.
whole time.
Yep.
Uh,
You started out. I think y'all had the first game. You started out high.
yeah, because
Started
we were
out.
in our first game. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And you have not fallen since.
I mean,
Which I mean,
it's finally like it wasn't. We were among the best defenses, until coming up to the last couple of games, but now here and now we are definitely standalone the best, have the best defensive record, have the best. I mean, City have the best offensive record because they hired Thor, but and that's obviously the game what's going to define this title race. I think both home
offense
and
versus
away.
defense. Yeah, it
Um,
is. Y'all bought. Y'all,
can Willie Saliba, the absolute monster, he's been an absolute stalwart in there. Can he handle old Erling Haaland?
I don't think you're gonna have to worry about even when you play City. You're 5 points up now. I
I mean,
think
it's
City.
14 games. We still have 24 games to go. It's a long,
That's
long
what I'm
way. This
saying.
isn't normal break, remember? We don't have
Right.
December games. We're 4 games less.
Yeah. But even still, statistically, the team who's on top at Christmas, the teams who's on top coming into January, you keep that form, you get the rest, you keep it. Y'all have it's something stupid. It's like 80% of the time y'all win. The
Well,
team who's
we've
ahead
only
win.
dropped. Oh yeah, you're talking about. Well, see, it's less significant because the fact that we've played 4 less games, played 5
Yeah,
less
right.
games.
There's 12 points up
And
for.
we haven't played City. We skipped that game.
Yeah, you did. It has to be a rematch or whatever.
But I think that a lot has kind of changed. I mean, not a whole bunch because it's been a building reprocess and everything. But Gabriel's been good with Saliba. Yes, he's had his scary moments and they've cost goals. And but he's also been pretty consistent. But the real rock of all of it has been Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka. It's just
In
they've
midfield. Yeah.
Xhaka in this new role. The fans are back loving him again. And he's a leader on the team even when he doesn't have the armband. And he's been able to. I mean, it's a classic box to box role that he's playing. It's that Aaron Rambo.
Right.
You know, and he gets like far forward. He's getting really far forward. And if you study the press, if you study he's a part of how intense the press is, because I think where a lot of teams go wrong when they're trying to press is the whole team doesn't go as one. You have to press as a unit, because if they get one pass through the lines, I mean that's how Arsenal gets beat. You get one pass through the lines, beat a man, and you've got an overload because we're pressing so high forward as a team. And I think Xhaka's been a major part of covering that extra man when it pops up.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. It's been fun to see in a sense because y'all are playing back at. I wouldn't say it's a typical Arsenal style of play because obviously coming from um, Wenger, it it's not so much as a tactic tack type of soccer, but your midfield is really gelled together. Your midfield works well together. Your midfield knows how to play the ball out, press when you need it to, get the ball and put it in the right positions where you'll have that glue there, and it's something that a lot of teams, especially us, I would say United struggle with it as well. Connecting those, and Liverpool at the beginning of the season, connecting that midfield your defense to your offense. Those two guys alone, they deserve a lot, and they are big mainstays in your club. I hope, and it's funny. I don't wish bad on Ghana, but I don't want them necessarily to have a long tournament either because y'all need Partey.
Yeah, for sure. I
Like
mean, their first choice goalkeeper just got ruled out by
I
injury.
wouldn't, I wouldn't be mad at them losing in groups to protect him because if he's one that
They're
it's
terrible, bro.
that's your Conte, right? That's your Conte, like or Conte. That is glue for you guys. You've built the midfield around him. You can tell he's a workhorse. I mean, I like him. I'm a fan of him. I like his work ethic. I love him in the midfield. He's a great midfielder. Um, it's just something that,
confident.
yeah, and it's something Xhaka needed too. I mean, Xhaka needed help there. He needed a workhorse there with him, and that's something that he didn't have last season. The season before that, I think the
He was
fans
trying
were
to do that last season. He was trying to be the center defensive mid last season.
he was the only one that would work in that. Like
Partey was injured for a long time last season.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think you have, like I said, you kind of put the puzzle together, and I know in your notes you talk about City having this inevitability about them. I agree with you to a sense that I think it's a lot more hype than it is. It's a stat sheet. You're reading.
That's how they approach.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're reading, like, if you look at them on paper, like if I'm loading up a game of FIFA and I'm looking at, the lineup that's coming down the pipe, I'm going like, holy cow, this is going to be, it's like that 2010, 2012 Barcelona team. It's like, dude, everybody on this squad could be an icon of some sort.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but even still, they go into some of these games with that attitude and they've gotten punished and they've gotten held and they've gotten upset. And when they don't get their way, it's so funny to watch that club react in poor situations or in situations they don't find themselves to be in or planned to be in. They don't have a plan B. They don't have they don't, it's, I think
Brentford. Did you watch the Brentford game?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They looked frustrated, right? That's exactly what I was alluding to.
You nailed it because they approached it like you're saying. They approached it thinking, "Oh, it's Brentford at home. That's 3 points in the bag."
Well, the bees, yeah.
No, not the bees.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's just that, and I thought it was funny. I thought they're gonna approach that way because they've had all this attention on them, and they're gonna win the champs. They're gonna win the Premier. They're gonna run away with it. Holland's gonna score 100 goals. And it's like, okay.
You still got to plow through it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing, because they can't do that, because when you're at the top, when you're one of the best, everybody gets up to play you.
Right.
Sometimes when you look down and you see Leicester on the fixture list, it's like, you know what? Okay, it's Leicester. But when you see Man City, and now because we're leading, when you see Arsenal, it's like, all right, baby,
Yeah, we're
Let's get up
taking
to
3
this one.
points
We're
to
taking it. We're taking it to these guys. Just
those
because
guys.
just because they hate us because they ain't us. This is the kind of thing. And so I think that the way forward against City has been to be super physical and to hit them quick. Newcastle ripped them apart on the counter just so quick. If you beat Rodrigo, if you can get the ball past Rodrigo and get the rest of them, especially Akanji, get them running back towards their goal, you can definitely score goals against them.
Yeah.
But Brentford, Brentford's approach was the same old, same old. Be super physical, win the headers. When Brentford, I've said it all season. I've said it all season long. When Brentford win the second ball, they're dangerous. They score goals. They win games. And credit to Ivan Toney. Doesn't get picked for England then, and he says, "Oh, here's what you're missing. We'll just go beat the champs with a double." Probably should have had 4 goals. So Gareth Southgate can probably say, "Yeah, well, he should have had 2 more," but I don't know.
I mean, at the striker role, because I think that's how they kind of built. I think that's how Southgate built this squad. He said, "I'm gonna have 3 strikers. I'm gonna have 6 mids, 7 defenders, whoever those are, 6 defenders, whoever those might be." What offensive striker are you sitting to get Tony in on that squad? Like, you're not sitting Kane.
Nobody. I will say this. Suppose England puts 5 past Iran and then puts 5 past USA and are in. And they've won because their goal difference is stupid because then you can sit people and you can let Tony get a World Cup appearance.
Right. That's true.
But I'm not Southgate. I'm not an international manager.
I don't think Southgate's prepped to have that good of a tournament. I think he's sweating a little bit right now too with Chile and James and
definitely.
bro.
Yeah, but all in all, as far as the title race goes, I think it's going to come down to consistency. City always have that. I feel like they're poised for a 14-game winning streak. So it's like we're just going to have to. It's in our hands. I know it's early, but
you're 5 points up. It is 100% in your hands.
We just have to. And again, when they come to the Emirates, Willie Saliba is just going to have to body them. And we've been so good playing through the first line of the press this season. That one against you guys where we put 4 one-touch passes together, hit Martin in the center, played it out to Martinelli, and it would just happen so fast. That's how we're going to have to be against City, but I think we can handle it. I'm feeling obviously buoyant, feeling great going, to be on top. Even though I'm saying statistics, whatever, to be on top at this point of the season, if you would have offered me that at the beginning if you would have told me that we would have won 12 games in 14 by now, I would have bit your arm off. Like, oh yes, absolutely.
I mean, and you're only 4 goals back. Like, goal difference is not that different between you guys and City. It's not. Holland can score all the goals you want, all he wants. He's the only one. Like,
I mean, Kevin De Bruyne has had a miraculous season too. He's had a fantastic. He's got 10 assists.
Yeah. Well,
plus he's got like 5 or 6 goals. Like he's ready.
Look who he's assisting. Like
he had a point. Yes. But he's gonna be dumping him to Lukaku, to your boy for Belgium. Yeah. He's going.
Well, Lukaku. Well, it's going to be a little bit different. Same size target, but
mine has been for like 4 months though.
Mine has the touch of a donkey. So
we can only hope, man.
He's out there playing with hooves, man. Like
we can only hope USA gets a chance at revenge on old Belgium, but we're gonna.
And Hazard ain't seen the field over at Madrid in freaking 4 years.
Good grief.
So that was the worst. Like, granted, I love Eden Hazard. He did a lot for the club. Don't want to talk that injury and then him getting out of shape. That was the worst 50, 60 mil Madrid's ever spent in their life.
He looked Ronaldo 06 over there, man.
That was free money for us. We were like, oh yeah, we'll sell him. And then he was like, I'm just gonna take this check and I'm gonna live in Spain. Like,
oh my god.
But yeah, no,
I definitely think we have what it takes.
I do
I
too.
definitely
I do
think
too.
if we can get some backup for Partey and for Odegaard in January, I mean, when we get Emmy Smith Rowe back, he's going to start over Vieira. I mean, he will be in the order above Vieira for
Well,
me.
yeah, you're not going to bench Smith Rowe. Like Smith Rowe is
But the
talented.
fact that not having Partey lowers us so much is an issue.
Right.
And if we can work on that in January, maybe we can have a shot here, an extended run. But we'll look down the table a little bit. Currently, it's Newcastle,
Yeah.
third place, flying absolutely high. Um, they got a shout for Champions League, man. This must be said. Must be said.
See, and I think it looks that way now when you talk about 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Where do you fit in?
I think we'll compete for fourth or fifth if we don't get healthy. We'll be mid table. If we do not get healthy, if we cannot stay healthy, we will be mid table, and it's going to be very upsetting for everyone involved because Todd needed a good season, his first one, because if he loses the fan base this early on into his ownership, he's going to absolutely like. That's one thing I can say about Chelsea in a sense of versus other squads. Man U was like, oh, we're going to boycott games, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Chelsea have this. We've been ingrained for the last 14 years under the Roman era of the club to not put up with this. It is the culture at the club, whether it's owner, whether it's manager, player, assistant coaches, medical staff. Our revolving door is faster than anyone else in this league. So like I don't think we'll put up with it for long. But I think if we get healthy, yeah, fourth, fifth isn't going to be bad. But the only reason I say that about Newcastle, and I'm not taking anything away from them, nor do I want to. They're playing great. I think they've had a great start of the season. Tottenham, United, Liverpool, and us have all beat the absolute. We have been beat up, and we are beating each other up this early in the season as well. So with those games taking knocks, like when we're not ending up playing with each other, playing against each other, and we should have took points against Newcastle. We should have took points. We needed a draw or a win against you guys, but we definitely needed the win against Newcastle before the break. I think at a full Chelsea squad, we take Newcastle every day of the week. We're not healthy. I don't think Potter knows. I don't think Potter has any idea what to do with this squad because every time he finds an answer, someone else goes down.
It's hurt.
Someone else goes down. And I think, but here's the catch-22 with this, right? Is that on Potter? Chile isn't supposed to be playing left wing back to that manner. Reece James isn't supposed to be up by the right corner flag every play of the game because he's going to have to track all the way back. Like, is this rotation part of the problem? Tuchel didn't have this many injuries. He had 2.
That's interesting. That's an interesting idea. Is maybe people not necessarily knowing what exactly their role is.
And it'll get you hurt out there playing with dudes like this. It'll get you hurt playing with a professional.
I think you guys just leave too much space. You don't have a plan for covering the spaces that you leave when you go forward.
Right. I don't think we have that. I think we don't have the speed.
Well, without James.
Right. Right.
Cuckoo, I thought Cuckoo started first 3, 4, 5, 6 games under Potter. I thought he was your best player.
Yeah. Because he plays with intensity. He actually plays. He's the only one out there with an engine.
He fell off, man, at the end of the season. Got wrecked by Trossard and Brighton. Saka gave him a day, man.
In the hook, right? Got the hook early in that game.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think happened to him?
I think it's that. I think when you lose James and you play Chile beside Cuckoo, what position am I playing? Am I playing left back? Yeah. Am I playing left mid? Am I playing center defensive mid? Who am I supposed to cover? Is he supposed to cover the guy that runs back behind the flag, or am I supposed to overlap and go follow him? I think it's a lot for these. And again, you look at a typical soccer lineup. You have a left back, you have a right back, you have two centers or three centers and no backs or wing backs. When you're playing, like that's like playing. It's the added. Talking about the World Cup, we can add it here. When Germany only had center defensive mids, that's it. They had center defensive, or sorry, they only had center backs. They had no right back, no left back on their
Right.
national.
Yeah. Now I know what you're saying. Yeah.
No center backs, or sorry, no wing backs. They only had center backs listed for
They
the
had
national.
4 per Mertesackers in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Something's bound to go wrong, and I think when it can, it will. And we're playing against these again. It's the Prem. You can play Brentford, you can play Leicester, you can play Nottingham. Someone will punish you out there. You leave them enough space, you leave them enough time, you leave them the space for speed. They'll punish you out there.
I mean, Trossard ripped him apart. He's going to Qatar, man. He's in the Belgium team. Like he's not some random.
No, right. Trossard's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
right.
Brighton, and that's to your point. That's Brighton. That ain't City.
Yep.
You're not talking about the big money guys.
But I think Liverpool is getting back to where they should be. Manchester United showed up. I was hating on them hard at the beginning of the season. I think Ten Hag's got. I think one thing that Ten Hag did a good job of over there. I want to see Man United burn more than anybody, but he has control of that locker room.
Does he?
I think he is.
Recent revelations included.
I don't think he has control over Ronaldo. I think he has control over the rest of that locker room.
I can agree with that.
And
Ronaldo does whatever he wants because he's
right.
Ronaldo.
He's Ronaldo. And, I think Tottenham, Antonio is going to do what Antonio does, but it's working for him. I don't agree with the tactics. I don't understand why they're wanting to go down early. But I think Newcastle like I said, I just think 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to, I think it's all going to Brighton. I think Brighton's going to make a big run. I think they can come in 5th or 6th if they keep this form.
Yeah, they've shown some inconsistency, some frailty. But yeah, I agree. I think they're a tough team. This wasn't a good game versus Villa.
No.
Last time out.
We didn't play good against Villa, though.
Even though I personally believe that Villa are going to be decent immediately with Emery coming in. I got a lot of respect for Unai Emery. No, it didn't work out at Arsenal, but I thought he did well. I thought he's got the experience, so yeah. Villa, I think Villa are going to be just fine.
Well, that's how I feel about Antonio Conte. Like, yeah, I hate Tottenham more than anybody in the world, but it didn't work out with us. But
though, I don't think they'll finish 4th playing like this.
They got the squad for it, man.
No, they don't. They really don't, because they have the same issue you do. You know why they're doing better than you is because Harry Kane is knitting their play up. Harry Kane, not only is he playing center forward and scoring goals like a madman because he's an animal, he's also filling in their center attacking midfield space. It's what I've been accusing Chelsea of all season long.
Yeah, not having.
Your rotation doesn't account for knitting the play from back to front, like you were saying Thomas Partey does. Kovacic attempts to.
He's not an attacking midfielder. He's a midfielder. He's a center midfielder. He's there to win the second ball. He's there to head the ball off space. He's here to win the 50-50 ball, body somebody out, and get the ball. Who should be, it's either Havertz or Mount. You should leave Mount or Havertz in that cam role.
Yeah.
And leave him alone.
It should Mount, not Havertz. It should definitely be Mount.
I would start Mount over Havertz every day of the week. But Mount, the problem that I'm having with Mason Mount, and I'm a huge Mason Mount fan. Like, I'm going to buy the jersey. I love Mason Mount. I think he's the best embodiment of Frank Lampard since we've had anyone else at the club come in or be brought up in the club. He loves.
Why isn't he played as such then? Why do they not play him that way? They should.
Because when you look at the midfield and you lose N'Golo, you lose Kovacic, you don't have this workhorse. Mount's not a workhorse.
But you rate Jorginho, so Jorginho can cover the space behind him. According to me, I don't personally, but you do.
I think Jorginho's the same role as Kovacic. He's just not big.
Yeah, that's my point. He is the defensive mid.
Right. And he's not there to make a play. And we don't have, that's the problem, is we can defensively stop somebody. Those boys can win the ball. There's no one to make. They cannot make the play. That was N'Golo's specialty. That's what N'Golo could do for
That's
any
what
club he
Partey,
played for.
that's what Thomas Partey has.
Right.
He just holds
He
the
could
ball
do
so well.
both. Yep.
Boom.
And he
Y'all
knows who to
don't
play
really
it
play an
to.
8 either. Y'all don't really play a box-to-box kind of guy because Jorginho and Coach just holds back
Right.
so much. Like you say, y'all need somebody that wants to get on the ball and run forward. And that's, to my point about Kane, I think because he's having to do that so much.
Yeah.
And yes, he's I hate him. He's magnificent.
I do hate it.
He's world class, and he's so good at holding the ball up and conning the referee. No, but he's so great at coming back, getting the ball, having a touch, beating a man, and then Son's in behind.
Yeah.
But see, he can't do that all season. Just him.
Yeah.
He can't, and that's why I think that given Antonio Conte's near stubbornness in the way they play,
yeah,
it's not going to change, and so they'll fall off. I think that there's an opportunity there for definitely Newcastle. You guys definitely need to improve. Liverpool's in there. United's in there.
That was my next go-to was Liverpool, and we touched on it all season. I think Sadio Mane was a huge loss for that club in the locker room, on the field. I think it was just. I think he's a lot more than what Liverpool was really expecting.
He's a huge personality.
Right.
Yes.
So with that, Darwin Núñez can't speak to anybody in the locker room. But Darwin is finally firing. He's scoring goals. He knows how to play the game, and he's fitting into the role that Liverpool kind of had to make this switch, though. They expected Darwin to come in and immediately play the same exact Liverpool as they've been playing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
They kind of had made this switch to feed Darwin a different way. So that being said, that's good on Klopp. Okay, let me play to my guy's strengths. Let me not be stubborn. Let me, switch it up, and it's worked for Liverpool. They've had I think they've had a much better run at form, and Darwin's firing, which is what they need. I wanted Darwin in the transfer window, regardless of whether we would have fit him into our squad. I think we have the players and the know-how to have worked around him, just like Liverpool's doing now. But yeah, I think Liverpool is definitely they are going to be in third or fourth, and only because of the slow start they had, which again would knock Newcastle. I think it's going to be a tight race.
And they're 8 points out of third right now.
That's 2 games. It's 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks to make it. 2 weeks
you
to put
think
it back.
Liverpool can go to St. James's Park and win?
Liverpool?
You think Liverpool can beat Newcastle at Newcastle? Y'all couldn't beat them. Yes. City couldn't beat them.
Yes, I do think Liverpool can.
They need to get healthy for sure. That's one thing. But I agree with you. They haven't replaced Mane. Jota and Luis Diaz, when they're healthy, they both work like Mane does, but they don't add that lethality, the quality in front of goal that Mane just instinctually has.
Mane is a different Mane. Like you use the word, and I really like. I hate Harry Kane. I do.
I hate him. He's so good.
But you said it. Mane is another. He's world class. He has that. He is on that echelon of player, which is, that's why he's over at Bayern. Like Bayern's not going to buy somebody unless it's like Madrid. They're not going to buy you unless you can sell them 100 million jerseys and score 100 million goals. So,
do you think it's Potter? What's going on at Foley Shore? Do you think it's Potter?
I do think it's Potter. I think it's Potter because Potter doesn't know how to play. We have every tool in the. We have every tool in our arsenal. We have every tool necessary to field the proper field, even with the injuries. We have midfielders. We have good midfielders. We have.
He's just not adapting. He's not adapting to those injuries.
No. And that's one thing that I don't this is why I'm so frustrated with this club and Bowley and what has happened for the last. I do not, and there has not been an answer. Tuchel has come out and said what he did. I do not understand letting go of Thomas Tuchel after the transfer window. I do not understand that. That is so baffling to me. You gave him $100 million. He only spent 50. He only got half the players he wanted. He told you no to 2 of them and you fire him. He just won you a Champions League. He knows how to adapt in situations where we don't have players. Yeah, he went to Dinamo Zagreb and lost. Potter's lost worse to worse teams. Where's the sack? In less time, where's the sack? If that's how it's going to be, consistency.
You really think so? You really think so? That he
do.
deserves the sack already?
How not? How not? How not?
You are worse. You have gotten worse.
How not? He cannot handle this club. It was too big for him. I said it when he came in. It's too big. That's a huge jump from Brighton. He is not going to understand how to handle this locker room. He's not going to understand how to handle our staff. He's not going to understand how to handle our academy. It's too big, too fast for him. His entire career has been fast-tracked to this point. He's never had this, let me build and sustain and work a club that has international academies underneath them. This is way too much for him.
Y'all are 8 points out of 4th. You're 8 points back.
Right. Where's the sack? You were worried about 3 points in a group league that all we had to do was beat Milan twice. We lose to Milan, sack Tuchel. We lose to Milan twice, sack Tuchel. We lose that group, sack Tuchel. Not one game does Dinamo Zagreb because he won't sign Cristiano Ronaldo. That is so.
Speaking of,
and again, huh?
You think Ronaldo's coming in January?
I do.
That's so lame.
I do. 110%. I do.
That's so lame.
Because we are lacking one thing. In a healthy squad, we're still lacking one thing.
You just spent how many millions on Yachty?
12. We got him at a bargain sale. We gave our washing machine.
For Yachty, that's expensive.
Right. We gave them our washer machine for Yachty. So
right, I get it, man. He's been the biggest flop for sure. Fernando Torres style floppity flop.
I mean, it'd be nice if he just got us $100 million worth goal like Kai did. That's fine. If you want to come here and do that, that's fine.
That's literally all Havertz has to his name, dude.
That's it.
He's a stuffed shirt. He's a stuffed shirt.
That and that beautiful goal in the Champions.
That kind of crap makes me mad. It's the same thing with Eddie Nketiah the other day in the Nobody Cares Cup. He scores an incredible goal. Where's that all season long? Kai Havertz goes off with Germany for the international, again, Nobody Cares Nations League and scores 2 world-class goals for Germany. Can't do anything in a Chelsea shirt.
You know, at this point, honestly, and this is going to be really shocking to say, because I was somewhat critical of him, but I understood his role at the club for what it turned into, what Tuchel turned him into. I miss Timo Werner. At least he ran for the ball, Jay.
What?
At least he ran for the ball. He ran after the ball.
Wow.
Yeah,
Things are really bad when you see Timo go back to Farmers and score goals for Leipzig, and now you're missing Timo at Chelsea. That is, I mean, I'll give it. He worked. He worked. I always thought he wasn't any good in front of the net. But
no, he's not. He's not. He should not play striker. He should play wing. Put him out there. Send him the ball. Let him cross it in. That's all he did for us. He played center striker, but literally his assists or pass to assist record was way higher than any goal record he was ever going to score for us. He fit in a role. He said, "Fine, I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to pass it to the open man. I'm going to feed Mount. Mount's going to hit somebody with the ball in the box, and boom, there's a goal. Every time.
Missing Timo.
I'd much rather have Timo than Yachty.
Yeah.
But
does your kind of fall from grace here go into the surprises category like some of these have listed? We've talked about Newcastle. Man, what about Fulham? Fulham newly promoted, definitely a surprise for me this season. Alexander Mitrovic scores what was it, like 42 goals in the championship last season? Something dumb. And then the season before, he had 3 goals in the league, in the Premier League. 3 the whole time. He's got 9 already, bro.
Yeah.
Crushing it. Dude, he's going to be a menace at the World Cup. I know Serbia's in a stupid group, but And I mean, he's not the only standout on that team, to be honest with you. 35-year-old Tim Ream, the American, who I would just love to see in the back line for the States. He deserves it, man. No, dude, he was lights out against United, and they that was a soul crushing loss to United. He's played really good. He's played really well. He's been really, really consistent. Um, and Anthony Robinson's been right next to him all season long. The both Americans at the back for Fulham, and they've been miserly, man. Like we said earlier, Craven Cottage sucks going there, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
Go play Fulham, dude.
It's hard to go to Grandma's cottage and do anything productive, man.
I know. Mitrovic just won't let you, man. He bullies you.
Just bullies you, man.
He's another forward that he's not that fast. I love seeing Mitrovic at full tilt. It's the greatest thing, man. Dude, a tank. He's an absolute German Panzer tank, steamrolling people. I love to see that.
Yeah.
But he's the target man.
Yeah.
He can hold the ball up so well. He's lethal in front of the net. I think he is a huge part of why they're doing so well. But yeah, they all around. I think Fulham are a big surprise for me. Doing great. I think they'll be just fine. Not even close to a relegation conversation.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Another big surprise for me was Brentford. This is their third season in the league.
The Bees!
The Bees, yeah, man. They just beat City. They're flying high. They're buzzing high.
Flying high, man.
And it was like I said, it's been this same classic Brentford all season.
Yeah.
Be physical, be strong, win the second ball. But they can play too, man. They've put some nice stuff together. They've had some good stuff in the counter. They're good on the break. Mbomo's quick. I think they've been pretty good pretty much all season, And I mean, they got that good win against United as well, so they beat both Manchester clubs. That was away too. I think that was at home. No, that was at Brentford. That was the 4-0 over United was at Brentford.
Yeah.
That was that home field advantage that I was talking about. Yeah. But what about the Leeds United States of America?
The Leeds United States of America. They've actually shocked me. I thought that they were not going to. I didn't think they were going to be this.
I mean, they scraped safety last year.
I didn't think they were going to be this competitive this early this season. I figured they would be a lot like. I figured it would be them, Nottingham.
They'd be down at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
They have had a poor recent run, but it's always dramatic, man. Yeah. They've got that American flair. Jesse Marsh, dude. He's bringing American flair with them gray jeans he wears every game.
Every game.
I love it, man. He's been just a little side topic I guess we could talk about is about the coaches, man, yelling at the – I mean, do you remember at the beginning of the season, Tuchel and Conte were in each other's face? Do you remember that?
They were putting hands on each other, bro.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. I forgot all about that.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, man. Potter's not going to do that. Potter's a
he's a class. He's a prim and proper dude. He seems like kind of a
See, and I want Potter out. And honestly, at this point, I would love to bring Tuchel back. That's not going to happen. Obviously, I would Zidane. Bring me Zidane.
Yeah, all right. That'll be awesome. Sure.
Bring me Zidane in January with an open window with $100 million that we have left to spend. Actually, it's like 160 left to spend.
Well, it's all going to Ronaldo.
Yeah, no, Ronaldo's a fire sale, bro. They only went like 13, 14 mil.
They're giving him away.
They want his I think it's his I think it's what's promised to him in his salary that they have to pay him in his weekly wages or whatever. That's all they're trying to cover.
Only $500,000 a week. That's it.
Yeah, it's all they're trying to cover for the rest of the season, and that's honestly, I think that's all we'll have him for as well. It'll be 1 year.
Jeez, man. Jeez.
But here, get this, man. He comes to Chelsea. He puts up 8. We need someone who can put 20 goals in the net this season.
Not in 24 games. He's got one this season. He's got one goal this season.
Ronaldo's got it in him, man. He's the GOAT.
Lost the step, man. He's not the GOAT for me.
He's lost.
He's lost the step, and he knows it. That's why he's lashing out. And
he should have never went to United. Should have never went back to United.
He loves it though. That's that he loved it back in the day, and I get it. Ferguson gave him his
Ferguson gave him the title.
And but enough about him. I think that Leeds are fun to watch, man. Straight up, it's fun. I feel bad for them. I relate to them with the all the Americans on the team. I love Tyler Adams. Oh man, I hope he has the armband. I don't think he will, but I hope he does. And Brendan Aronson too.
You already know who's getting the armband for that squad.
No, we don't.
Yes,
Patrick said it was Weston. He thinks it's gonna be Weston McKennie. Who do you think it's Pulisic?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be Christian Pulisic.
I don't know, maybe. I'd give it to Tim Ream. I wouldn't mind seeing Tim Ream have the band. He's the captain of Fulham. So yeah. But and then a couple of enigmas this season. What's up with Leicester?
Bouncing back.
What? They were so bad. I mean, so bad.
Rodgers saving his job, man. He got the phone call and he's like,
I mean, in so many instances, take the Spurs game, for example. What? Son hasn't done anything all season, and then you give up a 12-minute hat trick to him? I mean, I know he's good and he's got it, but come on, guys. It's the same thing like that pathetic, absolutely pathetic display at home versus City. That was felt a little sick to my stomach watching them not even try to win that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you say, somehow, some way, game by game, Rodgers has clawed his way back. James Maddison clawed his way onto the England team somehow in the midst of a dumpster fire.
Injuries. I'll tell you how. It was 100% injuries.
No James.
No James. Open spot. Yeah. Yeah.
I would take Tony over Maddison.
No James or Chile. So that's 2 spots.
But it's looking like, miraculously enough, rumor has it that it's going to be Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, John Stones, Kieran Trippier.
And Trippier.
Which, what are you guys doing? Come on.
I mean, I like it other than Maguire.
Ben White.
Right.
Boy, my man, Benny White has had a monster season.
That's who I would play over Maguire, but whatever, man.
Even over Luke Shaw, if you're too stuck on Maguire, because Ben White's been killing it for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And if you put Saka in front of him, they've been playing like that all season together.
Yeah. Right. I think. Another one that was surprising to me West Ham fell off pretty quick too.
They started horribly, and then you're right. They went up. They were
way up, and then
had some good home form, and then you lose 2-0 to Leicester on the last day.
Yeah,
they're an enigma too. Skamaka's just not scoring the goals he was brought in to score.
Well, it's been one of those things too. Like with us, statistically, West Ham's been really hard to pull points out.
Antonio's not really scoring either. So much so that he's been benched. He hasn't been starting. That's really, I think, has been their issue. Let me look at this. They're in the bottom 3 right now, man.
Who, West Ham?
No, they're 16th, but they're only 1 point above 18th.
Avoiding relegation, right?
They've lost 9 times. Only Southampton and Wolves have lost 9 games.
Have lost more. Yeah.
They've lost 9 games. That's rough. They've only scored 12. Yeah, see, they've only scored 12 times. Only Everton, Forest, and Wolves have scored less. So that's an issue. That's a huge, huge issue. Jared Bowen he's having a decent season, and I think he works hard, but he's just not bagging 20 goals.
Right. Do you think, speaking of the relegation clubs, I know I'm jumping all the way down, but do you think the Wolves wasted some money that they're never going to get back on our boy?
Diego, 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 Diego. Oh
No,
my
the
God.
loudest I've heard Stanford Bridge this season has been the walk-off
Diego
ovation
Costa.
at Diego
Yes.
when he took his
That's
lap
epic.
around the bridge.
That is
Like,
epic. That's the best thing he's done for the Wolves. Was
that's it.
the lap of honor at the bridge. Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
God. I don't know
Yeah.
what. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, yes. To answer your question, absolutely. I think it's a humongous waste of money. I thought that when I heard them, he was on the couch a week
What are
before
you doing?
they picked him up. I don't.
But again,
And
it's
then
free agent,
he's like, maybe they're scared of him. You remember the intro video where he's like bringing wolves in?
like,
I
he
don't
just
know, man.
brings them to practice every time, and he's like, "Play me," or else.
Yeah, no, I think it's just desperation. They just
Right.
miss Raul Jimenez something awful, man.
Yeah.
He's and he's in the Mexico squad, even though he hasn't played a game in 3 months. I mean, he's good. He was the only one scoring goals for them. They're the worst in the league, 8 goals.
Yep.
And it shows because they are bottom, basement club. Yeah, they've been terrible overall. They've got a new coach though. New coach coming in. I can't pronounce his last name. It's Luca Tegli or something like that. But and I have never heard of him. But I think it's a good time to bring in it. If you're going to bring somebody new in, they got time
Yeah.
to work on it. So maybe they'll be resurgent.
Well,
I mean,
that too, and it's like Everton with Frankie last year. Like, there's nothing to lose. There, you have everything to play for at this point. If you're
Frank's lost
battling,
7 times already.
say what?
Frank's lost 7 times already
I
too.
know. I know. Everton's not. That's one of the weird ones too, because like defensively they can be sound.
They've had one of the best defenses in the
They
league,
just
but
cannot score goals.
they've only given 17 goals, which is not bad.
Right.
But still, they're not scoring at all. You're right. Calvert-Lewin has come back, but maybe it'll take time to get his scoring boots back, I guess. But I guess while we're down here, we'll go ahead and. What do you think, man? Who gets relegated this season? Southampton got a new coach. He's been terrible. They've been terrible, but they've also got a new coach.
Nottingham's going.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think that's one.
Their home form, man. Their home form is okay.
I think the Wolves are going. And you know what? Past that, it's going to be. I think Southampton has the tools to bounce back. I don't
They've
see
been under
Everton.
Hasenhüttl for years, though, for a long time. So it's. I mean, are they going to be able to bring it back in just half a season?
Well, see, my thing is, if it's not Everton that slips down into that spot, you're looking at like if Leeds can't pull it together, if West Ham's going to pull it together, I don't doubt West Ham's going to be a mid-table team. I don't think they'll get relegated.
Yeah, I tend to feel the same.
And Brentford, I think, already have too many points.
Oh, Brentford. It's
So
Bournemouth.
right?
Bournemouth, that's the enigma.
Yeah, Bournemouth
The wild card, man.
could slide. I think, and see, that's the thing is that third relegation spot for me. That third relegation spot for me goes Everton, Bournemouth, Leeds.
Bournemouth can't defend, man. They just can't do it. They score 3 goals and then they get beat.
32 goals this season.
How many times have they scored 3 goals this season and lost?
The only person that has had more scored on them is Nottingham.
Ouch.
That's bad. That's bad.
This is bad news, Bears. Come on.
Yeah, bad.
But somehow, some way, they're 3 above the drop.
Yeah. But see, I don't think it'll stay like that. I think it'll be Nottingham, Wolves, probably Bournemouth. I think Leeds have the tools not to get relegated as well.
Yeah, I think on what I've seen this season so far, I think Everton and Southampton and Bournemouth and Nottingham are all gonna battle it out.
They're gonna fight.
If if Wolves' new coach can pull it together quickly, they might get out of the basement. But I do think that last spot is going to be contended, Bournemouth, Leeds, Everton, Forest.
Yeah, it'll be like last year where it's a relegation championship game.
Yeah. It might, it might come all the way down. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
But my top three, if we move up to the top of the table, I do think it's not I think y'all have it. Y'all are the most consistent thus far. Math's on your side, the statistics are on your side, the play sheet, the stat sheet's on your side. I think like I said, you're 4 goals back from City. If City's supposed to be this massive goal scoring machine, powerhouse, like fine, I can take points, but all right, let's look at the number. Like only 4 goals back from an Erling Haaland, $150 million player. Like, I think if you can, again, it's that invincible mentality. You gotta stay on it. You gotta not give a game. You gotta want every single game. You play Leeds, you play them like it's a Champions League final. You play Bournemouth, you play them like it's a Champions League final every game, and you got it. Y'all bounce, right? Y'all pulling us. Y'all pulling us so much this season to where you go to the Europa, you win it, so you automatically got a bid, but then you're going to come in first, so then you open up the 5th place spot, which might let us go in.
Oh, snap!
Oh, my boy. God,
you might get in a playoff.
If we
win that Europa League spot, that extra spot, yeah.
Yeah, see? So.
Yeah, well, we'll do what we can. There's no doubt. So is that an official Arsenal?
I think it'll go Arsenal. I think it'll go Arsenal, City, and this is where I'm not trying to let fandom come into it. I would love to say us are taking 3rd. I don't think we're going to get up there and do it. I do think, however, I don't know, man. I don't think 3rd place is that far fetched. I think it's going to be y'all, City, and us. If we can get healthy,
Same can be said of Liverpool. If they can get healthy.
True. If there it is. There's the contingencies for both of those two. Liverpool was my 3rd spot, regardless of my initial bias for us wanting it. Whoever gets healthy first and can stay healthier. We don't lose Conte the rest of the season when he comes back. We don't lose James the rest of the season when he comes back. We contend, and we're going to be tough to play because especially that everyone's geared up and played us like this, played us on crutches, played us hobbling. When we come back, God forbid we get a striker. God forbid we get a striker and come back full strength.
God forbid Ronaldo decides he wants to play again.
Yeah, let Cristiano Ronaldo bring back just the last ditch glory moment for my boy. Yeah. I think we're somebody I think we can contend for it. I don't see United staying the same. I see United sitting up 5th, 6th, or 7th. I don't see Tottenham staying the same. I think they're going to fight with United for a Europa spot. But again, if we don't get healthy, we're going to be fighting for that Europa spot, and Manchester or Tottenham's going to take 4th place. Easy.
Where's Newcastle? You can't rule them out.
Nah, Newcastle comes in 7th. Same thing they did last season.
Whoa. Okay. All right. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Liverpool goes up on them. I think Tottenham goes up on them because Harry Kane's not going to.
They already beat Tottenham. They already beat Tottenham.
They can beat Tottenham. Harry Kane's going to score goals.
Yeah.
And if Conte cannot stop leaking, if Conte can figure out how to stop leaking goals, Tottenham's a menace, man.
I agree.
And I hate them. But if they can stop leaking goals, they're going to be tough.
Yeah, they've been efficient so far.
Right.
I definitely am going to have to back the boys. I think we can win it.
Yeah.
I think from this position, we should definitely go on. Yeah.
What are the 4 games that you're technically missing, right? Those are the postponed games. It's City.
Newcastle is one of them, I think.
Newcastle. I don't have the fixture list in front of me.
I don't remember. I think it might be Everton.
I mean, you're 5 points up. Even if you lost to City, it still puts you 2 points ahead. Everton and Newcastle, Newcastle will be a game. You should win against Everton.
Well, the way we're looking, we should win against everyone. But
Right.
it's going to come down to beating City at home. And then maybe, we should have beat them at the Emirates last season. But I definitely think if we can maintain the consistency and stay healthy, like you say, then we can 100% win the league. I think City will probably still take second. And then yeah, like you say, it just gets muddy. So muddy from here. I really think Newcastle are in this conversation, man. I really do.
I don't. Everton and City are your only 2 games that have been postponed. So I would say, yeah, you can chalk 3 up already to that. City game, I want to see y'all play City so bad.
Yeah, dude. The away game is on my birthday. Game at the Etihad is on my birthday. Yeah. But let's see. Let's see. If I had to say right now, I just don't think anyone below Newcastle are going to beat them at home. Liverpool won't beat them at home. United won't beat them at home. And I think they went to Spurs and beat Spurs. I don't think Spurs. No, they won. They beat Spurs at home. I think Newcastle will at least get 4th. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see y'all come back and vie for 3rd.
Yeah.
Against Newcastle. But I definitely think that I don't know, United are good at home. They're pretty good at home. Liverpool are gonna get. Dude, this is tough. This is so tough. Brighton are in there too, man. Brighton are hovering 7th. This is a tough one. Tottenham are so efficient, but I don't think they're gonna be able to. I don't think they're gonna hang. I don't think United are gonna score enough goals.
Right.
So
I find it funny that us and United are separated by 5 points, but have pretty much the same exact stat line.
stats. Yeah.
It's stupid.
I mean, I think it might be. I think it might be Arsenal, City, Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, Tottenham, or Tottenham United.
Wow.
I think Liverpool could still make 4th, but I also think y'all could pip them. I think, like you say, when both of y'all are healthy,
their teams. The only thing that I will say about Liverpool, they're a more complete squad than us. Than it sits. Yachty's not a strike. Like, I'm sorry, he's over the hill. He had some good seasons at Arsenal, but y'all worked him to death so much.
Well, he got his contract and quit playing. He worked enough to get his contract and then quit going for it.
See, I feel like he did the same thing at Barca a little bit. He showed up a couple games, scored some good goals. He's like, "Hey, I'm here," and then he's like, then they sold him to us because obviously Lewa was going to take the duh.
Yeah.
But that was another one too. And I'm seriously upset with Barcelona in this whole thing. And this is why the ownership issue stems so much further than just Roman had to sell this club.
Yeah.
Roman's in charge of this club. I don't see Barcelona sniping Lewa. I don't see them sniping Rafinha, and I don't see them sniping.
Do you think y'all have a bigger shot at Haaland if Roman is still?
Roman's part of the problem why we didn't get Haaland to begin with.
Really?
Roman, when we had the chance to get Aaron Haaland, it was $150 million. Romelu Lukaku was a bargain sale because they wanted to get rid of him, and then we brought him back for 28 or 30 some odd million dollars. So we said, okay, we're going to wait till he hits the transfer window. We'll save the money because we don't want to play the release clause at Borussia Dortmund. No, who would? Like, obviously, hindsight's 2020. We should have jumped on that because he's worth well more than $150 million. We took Lukaku.
Sure.
We took Lukaku because all we thought was we needed a big hold-up striker. Aaron Holland, big hold-up striker, has some speed. That's what we need. Okay, at least Lukaku can do that. But the problem is Lukaku did the same thing he did with us, and he did the same thing he did at United. He can do that, not in the Prem. He cannot do it in the Prem. He can do it in Italy everywhere he goes. He cannot do it in the Prem. And when we lost Olivier Giroud, we lost Romelu Lukaku, we had no big man hold up, so we had to. That's the panic and that's the reasoning. Anyway, Roman's part of the reason. He told us he denied the funding to buy the Borussia the buyout clause.
Yeah.
I think in the transfer window with Romans, I think Aaron Holland was going to go to City regardless because that's where his heart lied. Aaron Holland wanted to play for City because his dad played for City as part of a legacy he's trying to build there. There's a big behind this field motive there.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think there was a motive for Lewandowski to go to Barcelona. I don't think there was a motive for Rafinha to go to Barcelona. And we could have used both of those players in this lineup as it sits right now.
Oh God, yeah. I think it would change everything for y'all if you had Lewandowski.
And Barca's playing, and the reason, and they're talking about the reason they wanted to go to Barcelona is to play Champions League soccer. That's what you get. That's what you deserve. I hope y'all lose. I hope y'all lose the next round in the Europa. I hope y'all go home. I hope y'all go home. Right now, and you know what? And I hate United. This is how much I hate Barcelona right now for what they did to us in the transfer window. They did it on purpose. They knew it was going to cut us off at our knees, and they have such a grudge against us for what we did to them back in their golden age. They've always held that against us. Every time we see them, it's a dogfight, and they did this to us on purpose because they know they don't even have the money to buy the players they bought.
They don't have any money. They don't have any money.
They did that on purpose. They targeted everybody we had a bid and were in talks with and bought them from us because we were under all this turmoil. And I would too, as a player, you sit me down in an office and say, everything's fine here. Our ownership isn't an issue. Our coaching staff isn't an issue. You don't have to worry about your future or your paycheck at the club or whether or not you're even going to be able to play because our government isn't going to shut your club down. Okay, yeah, Barcelona's the easy choice. But the
Can Potter turn it around?
That's who?
The question. Can Potter turn it around?
I have no faith in Graham Potter.
That's the question.
I have no faith in Graham Potter. If Graham Potter was supposed to come in and do what all the other ones have done, RVB turned the club around, won a Champions League, got sacked. Thomas Tuchel built the club, won a Champions League, got sacked. We have fired greater coaches for turning around. He came in and the club got worse. Why? Everyone else comes in and we do something that we set out to do. They complete their objective.
I mean, you're undefeated for like 7 games.
Graham Potter will not do that. With Thomas Tuchel's team and under Thomas Tuchel's system. Now we see Potter's system and it does not work. The first 3 or 4 games, that was Thomas Tuchel's, nothing changed. Nothing changed. And I think he's about to lose this locker room. I really do. I do.
If Ronaldo comes, it's not going to be good in the locker room.
Not going to be good. No, Ronaldo might as well just be the manager coach or the manager player on FIFA mode.
The bully shore continues.
Continues.
It's the drama that keeps on giving, baby.
But that's why I want Zidane back. Or that's why I want Zidane to come into the club. Fire Potter, hire Zidane, pick up Ronaldo because you know who's not going to butt heads? Zidane.
Don't they know each other?
He played under him at Madrid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And if he talks back to him, Zidane's just going to cave his chest in with
He's like, "Oh, you're the GOAT? Yeah, show me your World Cup, your World Cup championship medal. Yeah, let's see that World Cup championship medal there, Ronaldo. But you, nice.
But
speaking of the World Cup, don't want to get too much into it, but how much has injuries and the situation surrounding it affected this season.
Mane's playing, supposedly.
I definitely think it's been a kind of a mark against the season, but
Well, Sepp Blatter. I saw this thing Sepp Blatter finally said and came out that it was probably one of the biggest mistakes he ever made under his control at FIFA or whatever, was putting it in Qatar.
He's just now realizing that.
Just now, everyone's just now realizing this. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to all of that though.
I do think injury, although with the injury being the topic, yes, it's crippled some of these, or it's going to cripple some of these squads.
I mean, it has already. That's what I'm saying. It has already.
Right. And God forbid people end up injured in this tournament because they're not going to be fit to come back home and play domestic, which was the whole argument. This was the whole argument when they made it in Qatar. The whole argument was that's dead center of the domestic league. Things are going to get messed up.
Yeah.
Like, that's too much, too fast. Like, God forbid, dude, if Mason Mount, because he's going to be a workhorse for England, if Mason Mount goes down in this tournament, we're out James, Chile, Mount. We're done. We're done. You can go ahead and chalk up any.
But how is England gonna play? You know
we'll
say that.
Kane's going to be the lone striker. Kane's going to be the lone striker. They're going to pack the midfield with Mount, Madison, and your boy. They're going to play four back.
So you think it's going to be Declan Rice, James Madison, and Mason Mount in the center, and then Foden, Kane, Saka.
Yep.
Or Grealish.
Which I think Grealish will start over Foden, not Saka.
I don't think that's how it's going to go. I don't think James Madison gets in the team at all.
You don't think he's going to play mid?
Dude, I think it's Hendo. I think Hendo starts above him. He's got the experience, and obviously that's what Southgate wants if he's going with Maguire. So it'll be Declan Rice, Hendo, and I mean I hope there's a center attacking mid for them, in Mason Mount, and then and then Saka, Foden, Kane.
Yeah. Deadly. Bro, if I could field Saka, Foden, and Kane on a domestic team.
Yeah, dude, that'd be legit.
Whole thing, baby. That's my style of play. That's that Didier Drogba big man striker. You send it down the wing. Just let it rain in the box. Just rain them in.
That's what he does.
Just rain it in. Yep.
We'll definitely get to that. We do have a World Cup preview episode coming up real soon for you. I'm really, really excited. Don't forget to hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell to get all the notifications for all the new videos. I've been enjoying the World Cup series. Got a few more coming to finish that up. And the World Cup is here, man. And Arsenal top of the table at Christmas. First time in forever.
Gotta
love that.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. Well, this has been the For the Badge podcast. Thanks for listening, and have a good night.